Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wolfpack. Now, if you saw the last video I did, I was talking about how I want to, at least for this year, the mindset that I currently have is to buy less games, but upgrade the ones that I already have and raise that gaming experience. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about 5 things in general that will elevate your gaming experience. They could be things inside the game, they could be things outside the game, but still related to your tabletop experience. So let me start off with number 1, and that is these sleeves from Ultrapro. Okay, I've been looking for sleeves that really fit a pretty niche situation in that I want sleeves that are nice, that have like a premium feel to it, but at the same time, I also want ones that don't cause the glare and also look good on camera. These are the ultimate solution for that. I want to sleeve every single game now that can fit these sleeves. This right here is the Ultrapro Matte Deck Protector sleeves. They are the standard ones that I have, the 66mm by 91mm ones, but they, let me tell you, are freaking amazing. So let me show you how much I've sleeved this particular game. This right here is my current collection of Marvel Champions stuff. And with it are some really, really premium, beautiful, like, listen to this. Do you see how there's no glare filming this from a top-down perspective? It looks so good. And the back here has that matted texture. I mean, of course, you're gonna get like, even if I shine at the brightest part, you can still see and make out what the card is. So yeah, there is that kind of glare, but this is just like natural glare. I meant like really reflective ones before. You wouldn't be able to see anything at all. You just see straight up white. This one has a really nice diffused light over it, and it is just the most perfect sleeves ever. I absolutely love these sleeves. I mean, as you can tell, I have sleeved hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards, and this is only for Marvel Champions 2. This doesn't include any other game that I've sleeved this for. I just most recently sleeved Dwellings of Eldervale, which will actually lead me to part 2, or item number 2, and that is screen printed resources. Okay, this is what my game looked like previously. It's not bad, right? I actually didn't mind it too much until I saw what the screen printed ones look like. You have the gems, the potions, the tools, the swords, like they look good, they look okay. Until you see this. Now, just take a look at that. These. Like, instead of this being a random shape, it looks so beautiful. I love the character that the screen printed resources give. And on top of that, make a huge difference because sometimes you see like this blob, and if you're not familiar with it, you're thinking like, oh, maybe this is a log, maybe this is like a tree branch. That's what everyone called it until you see what this is over here. And then you realize that it is a beautiful parchment paper. It is a scroll. You see that? You see differences it makes to just print something and show the character and the design. It looks so much cooler. And that's why I completely changed all these resources recently for Dwellings. And then on top of that, I also switched out, I'm gonna combine this as the second one as well, but I also switched out the old resource tokens because before these were cardboard, but now ever since, I actually saw this at the Dice Tower West, when they had like the most upgraded version of the game. I thought I had the most upgraded version of the game until I saw what I was missing. This right here, that is not cardboard. That is acrylic. These are the acrylic tokens for Dwellings. They're shiny, they have a very premium feel to it, and my goodness, I just cannot live without these anymore. I cannot live without these anymore. I know I'm going off a tangent here, but just any kind of deluxified resources, I absolutely love in games. Give me any reason to have deluxified resources and you have me hooked for wanting to buy that game. And see, I upgraded all of these, so all the dungeon cards have been upgraded to have that premium Ultrapro sleeve. Look at that matte texture. Come on, do you not want to sleeve all your cards now, seeing this? Now this video is not sponsored by Ultrapro, but it is sponsored by Pixelfun. So this is what Pixelfun is. It is a tabletop riser. You put this on your table in order to, of course, give height to your gaming experience. You can also store drinks underneath, so it's away from your games. You can put food underneath, or even another game on the bottom, just so you can have a second game pre-set up. So that way you save time clearing out a table to make room for another game. Now here's how Pixelfun works. You have these 5x5 inch square pieces. They slot into each other with these tiny ridges. And on the bottom is room for you to put pillars as support. And on top are these building blocks. So for storage, you can pop off these columns and then stack these trays off, or you can also leave the squares attached since it is a thin platform. Now on top, this is an empty sandbox, so you can build whatever you want on top of it. You can make pockets to keep certain components. There are even some additional components that also let you make a shadow box as well. And overall, if you're looking to just lift literally your game experience, if you want to just have something to put your game on top of, something that you can have preset up, that way you can play with the games underneath or the games on top, then go ahead and check out Pixelfun, which will be linked down below. Thank you so much to Pixelfun for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's go on to component number 3. Okay, this is one big game, man. This is one really, really big game. Now, I remember the days when Everdell was like one tiny little box with a sleeve on top, but now it has become much more than that. The third component that I wanted to rave about, one that really elevates the game experience, are something that I wish was included in every single game, and surprisingly, 2023, it's still not. And those are customized inserts. So inserts are such a big deal. I feel like inserts, for some reason, are not prioritized as often as they should be. And they really should, because they decide whether or not you pick a game off the shelf and play it on the table. For instance, there are several games that I have where they have no inserts at all, and I want to play the game because it's really fun. But a part of me is like the setup and having to take out like a bajillion Ziploc bags and then reorganize everything together. Like just the thought of that puts a barrier to playing that game. Whereas in other games, when you have beautiful organized inserts, especially like this one, which I just organized recently, if you saw my Instagram, I just organized, like spent a whole night organizing this recently. And it is the most beautiful insert that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like just look at how aesthetically pleasing this insert is with all the meeples just beautifully arranged like that. For you to be able to choose as all of these characters, like look, you have an orange frog and a yellow frog and the green hair, which I have no idea what it does yet. You have the mounts in the middle. You have all of these custom meeples just organized so aesthetically beautifully. I know for a fact that definitely makes sense, but you get what I mean, right? They just look good and it's inviting to play and it's easy to organize. Board game inserts, number 3. Oh, also, since we're on the topic of Everdell, this one blew me away. Like I've never seen an insert like this. So every time you have a cardboard standee for some reason, we always have to take it apart before putting it back into the box, right? Well, not for this particular insert for Everdell, because here, these inserts are literally like that. See that? So they allow you to just slot that in and bam, they are flat and just ready for you to take out and play. It's so easy and I absolutely love that. I think this is going to be my #1 priority for any existing games that I have already. If any of them have bad inserts, I want to just revamp them and get brand new inserts for everything. So that is number 3. Now let's move on to number 4. Okay, now if you have any solutions for this, let me know in the comments below because I would love to know what you all have in mind. But instead of using little cups and random trays like dining trays, what I like to use are Gametrayz inserts for including all of those little resources and little tidbits and stuff. Just random knickknacks, random resources, random coins and points, and whatever other accessories that aren't just like in a pile on the table. I like to have Gametrayz inserts for it. The reason why I like Gametrayz the most is because it is the most cost efficient. At the same time, it's really, really nice. So I have a whole stack of these, white, in like the 3 slots and the 2 slots and like the single slots. I mean, I would love to have like the wormwood ones where they're all wooden trays and they're hexagonal and they connect to each other. Like don't be surprised if you end up seeing some wormwood bits and trays in the near future. But for now, I think Gametrayz inserts are like the most sufficient way to be storing everything. If you have a better solution, please let me know because I would love to make an upgrade to this. But Gametrayz is nice. I mean, I love Gametrayz in general for practically every game, but just for like random resources like this, I think they are really easy and just nice to have. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? We talked about the Ultrapro Sleeves. We talked about screen printed resources, the Everdell inserts. Well, not just Everdell, but just organized and aesthetically pleasing inserts. And then we talked about the random component trays. The last one that I wanted to talk about today this is something that I have talked about before, but it isn't something that I've used as often as I would like to. But now that I'm diving into an RPG campaign soon, which is going to be for Avatar, and I saw all of your comments, so I will be filming some gameplay hopefully about Avatar. That's the plan. And the reason why that's relevant is because number 5 is a dice holder, or vault, as Wormwood will call it. This is a dice vault. So these are some beach-themed ocean dice that I have, and then in it are some magnet inserts right here for Wormwood. This one snaps right on. There's also like a foam insert on top so they don't shake around. And it snaps in just like that. You know, quality Wormwood, of course, is impeccable. Notice how like there is zero movement at all. They're like super tight and rigid. It's really, really nice. I love dice holders like this. The only thing is I just have no reason to carry this around, like I mentioned earlier, except to do like campaigns. And I think Avatar is the only reason we would have like dice to ourselves for us to be using these. So I would love to get some dice holders for everyone playing the campaign just to have them. But the reason why this dice vault, this dice holder made it for me on like 5 board game aesthetic upgrades, whatever I'm calling this video now. The reason why this made it on there is because I feel like this is a part of me, you know? Like, yes, I don't have a reason to use these dice yet, but when I do, they are me. You know, we are one in these dice. It's like starting a brand new D&D campaign, which I've never done before, but you get what I'm saying. It's like you have your own mini, you have your own set of dice, and it just feels very custom to the player. So that is number 5 for me, and that is the dice vault. So if any of you have any board game upgrades, please feel free to share them down in the comments below, aka make me spend more money, because I'm down for it, honestly. I'm down for upgrading all these existing games. And I want to know what you all have been using to upgrade your existing games. So with that said, thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this random top 5 board game upgrades video. And I will see you all in the next one.